Detachment is one of the most talked about and most misunderstood parts of manifesting. People tend to think it means you have to stop wanting it, you have to stop caring about it, you have to forget about it. And that's not only wrong, but it actually will push your manifestation farther away. So in this video, we're going to break down what detachment really is, how you might be doing it wrong, and how to shift into a state where things actually start flowing. Before we begin, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Wendy, and I teach real-world manifesting that's practical, grounded, and effective. If you are like me and find that manifesting is a process for you, and you're learning and you like my style, hit the like button. And if you want some clear directions, schedule a coaching session with me. So let's get started. Most people treat detachment like an emotional shutdown, right? I'm never thinking about what you want and you're supposed to not care about getting it. And I'll be honest, that would be great, right? If we just never thought about it. But that's not going to happen, especially since we are often manifesting from a place where we have lack, or we want something, or we need something. So typically that desire is quite strong. And people tend to think, well, if I don't care about it, it'll come faster. If I stop thinking about it, that'll mean that I'm doing it right. But what actually happens is you're still thinking about it, right? Because it's still in your mind, but you're just doing it with a different type of pressure, because now you have more pressure on you because you're thinking, I shouldn't be thinking about this. Or if I really was detached, I wouldn't have any real thoughts or emotions about it. And what typically ends up happening is you begin to think, well, wait, I thought I detached. Why isn't it here yet? Or what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? And that's not detachment. That is what we call suppressed attachment. So real detachment is when you don't detach from the desire you have. It's literally just detaching from the need for it to happen in a certain amount of time. And for some people, in a certain way. So you still want the desire, you still want the manifestation, you still choose the manifestation, but you are not obsessing over when it's happening, trying to force it to happen by thinking, oh, I'm doing aligned action or looking for constant proof. So it's literally the difference between I need this to happen versus I know this is mine. And that energy shift right there, that's where you want to be. So when you become too attached to the manifestation, it creates pressure and it puts your energy in a state of, it's not here yet. And then your reality reflects that. So what needs to happen is we need to trust that the universe has got this. Like literally just letting go of when it will happen and how. And allowing things to unfold without your knowing or understanding of how or when. Literally just trusting that the universe is working for you and with you. And an understanding that we have to be energetically aligned with this. If not, we are going to sabotage our manifestation because we are in lack energy. We are in fear. And so when you're not trusting the universe and allowing it to provide what you want, it's going to create the opposite effect of what you do want. So what can you do? Detach. And when you detach, you say, it's done. I don't need to chase it. I don't need to worry about it. The universe has got it. And this is where your true control is. It's aligning your energy and managing it. Not trying to do things to get what you really want and pretending that that's aligned action. A lot of times people think, well, I want to do this. That doesn't mean it's aligned action, right? So these efforts are ways to try to not feel the pain that has led you to this manifestation. And we need to remember that something brought us to want this manifestation. So what can we do? We need to be okay with how things unfold, how the universe decides and when the universe decides we're going to get it. We are not just talking about manifesting, because in manifestation, there's a trust process. It's a process of trusting how things happen and when. And then sometimes, because we don't know the process or how things are working, we start to feel something like, oh, great, it isn't working. Or we become uncomfortable because it doesn't seem to align with the way we would do it, right? I've done that plenty of times. I've worried like, okay, if it was me, I would have done A, B, C. But because this is the universe and the universe is working everything in your favor and in divine timing, it's different. So we have to stop worrying. You need to stop worrying and trust that the universe has your back. And this is where you have to say and know that everything is working in your favor. Just trusting the universe to bring you exactly what you want. So how do you actually detach and make it practical? Because detachment is hard, especially when you want something, because you have, as humans, we have a natural desire to want to see that something's happening or see the result of what we're looking for. And we're impatient. We want things today. Typically, if you're a grinder, you typically tend to go after what you want. You seek it. You start to figure out how to get it. But when we're manifesting, it's different. You're not grinding. You're trusting. And so you're not forcing or moving something along. You are just allowing it. The other thing that's really important is you need to know you deserve the best. And when we acknowledge that we deserve the best, we need to then let go of the pain, the sadness, and the frustration that brought us where we are to that manifestation. And the one thing that's really important is understanding where and why you feel this way. Like, where in my life did something make me feel a certain way? Or why do I feel this way? And it's important to remember that you need to remind yourself that the belief in a manifestation comes first, and the experiences that you feel are mirroring back to you how you feel about that manifestation. So I think I don't know if that sounded really jumbled to you, but what you believe is what you're going to get. So I've said before in previous videos that I have known, like, I'll get a large part of my manifestation except for a small piece. And it's because that piece that I'm not getting is a mirror. I'm literally, the universe is like, this is where you're having lack of belief and faith. And for me, instead of sometimes taking that and saying, yep, I know what it is, even though I know that's what's going on, even though I know what I need to do, I start to feel fear. And that's what a lot of us do. We're like, okay, I got part of the manifestation, or I see patterns that it's coming, but it hasn't happened. And we fall back into that fear. Instead of saying, this is a reflection of where I'm lacking, and literally using that to understand where you're at. So first, take a look at what's shining back at you, what the reflection is. Examine the situation. See what similar threads there are that will help you uncover the beliefs that are contributing to the manifestations, meaning not the manifestation that you want, but the manifestation you're getting. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I feel like that's a little difficult, but at the same time, I think it's very simple. So we need to shift our identity into the version of you who already has what you want and isn't stressing about it or freaking out like, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? Because typically when we're manifesting money, people, things, we don't manifest just things we don't need. We manifest things that we feel we need. So make sure that you're, monitoring yourself, because when you think negative thoughts or you don't see your manifestation coming to fruition, or the person that you're trying to manifest acting the way that you want, you have to ignore the negative thoughts that come up in your head. You're not going to get that job. That person obviously doesn't like you. The money isn't coming. And instead, tell yourself what you want that thing to be, or that person to say. So instead of, the negative thought that they haven't called you yet, so as you can see, they really just don't care. You need to let it go. You need to move on. Instead, think about what you want them to think and feel, and start putting that in your head, because this is still your ego's trying to protect you. So you need to be like, no, I know that they love me, and then move on, right? We're not gonna sit and talk about it and think about it, because when you do that, what do? You reinforce the negativity, which slows down the manifestation. So instead of leaving that negative thought with whatever it is about the situation, just push it away and just acknowledge, no, that's not true. And put in there what you want to hear. For me, it would be, I love you and I miss you. Or if I'm wanting that money, I would be saying to myself, girl, you got this. Like, look at that bank account. So whatever it is for you. So remind yourself that, especially in situations when things are not going the way you want, remind yourself that your current 3D reality is just a messenger, okay? This is where my life once was, but I'm going here. If something happens that's not in your favor, remember, this is a reflection. I'm getting back into, my alignment so that I can get what I want. Something else that's really important, you are the creator of your reality. This is not like, there's nobody out there that's controlling your life. It's you. Okay? You are in control. You are the creator. Additionally, the 3D is temporary and will change once you persist. Okay? Those are things that are hard, but you have to remember them. And then do your best to react less and less by seeing your whole situation, or a whole situation that's going on, from a manifestation perspective, and what it is that is being mirrored to you. Because that's going to help you. So when we look at it, detachment is really about becoming that version of you that knows that the 3D is temporary and will change once you accept you are the creator of your life. I think that's super powerful, because for me, it helped me a lot once I understood this isn't forever. I can think of so many things in my life that I put in place of a goal and I attained it. And that was temporary. But it was different because I was in control. And because we put out a manifestation, we're not in control. So it's different. We're not on that timeline watching it grow and change. So we're not feeling that. But trust me, you have and are the creator. You just are not the one that determines the way it happens. So something we can do is silence the 3D. So what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes I've got other thoughts in my head. I was thinking of silencing as muting, being a mute or not talking or something. So anyway, so whenever the 3D tries to get a reaction out of you, remind yourself that you are the creator of your reality, and the current circumstances are the result of your old thoughts. So that's a good way to kind of shut down the 3D, right? You're just going to stop it. Like, if things are not going in my favor, I don't have to entertain it. I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to feel it. So if you do this, remember that these are just results of your old thoughts. Once you change your dominant assumptions, your 3D will change too. So remember that. You're going to have to change your dominant, meaning the strongest assumption you have, right? Because in your reality, only you have free will and everyone is just a messenger mirroring your dominant assumptions. Second thing we can think about is you need to prevent your conscious mind from sending any negative stories to your subconscious mind. So how do we do that? Do this by responding to negative thoughts. Something we kind of talked about just a few minutes ago. Like, I have been practicing living in the end for a few months. So this would be like your brain coming up with some negative response. I've been practicing living in the end for a few months. Still, I've not seen any movement in the 3D. Am I doing something wrong? The answer should always be no. Whether or not you see movement, there is always movement. And you need to also have the thought process, I am doing everything right. I am the God of my reality, and I trust the process. Everything always works out for me. So that is a completely different way of responding. You're not fighting with the 3D. You're literally, the 3D, your negative thoughts. They come up, it happens. It's not like, it's not going to, but it will become less and less and less when your dominant state is, I already know this is working out for me. If you ever have multiple negative thoughts and you're spiraling and you're like, oh my God, then it's really important that you just allow yourself to feel whatever you were feeling right at that moment and let the negative thoughts pass. I don't think anybody's never not been in this situation. Never not been. Two negatives, sorry. I have such a thing about stuff like that. But anyway, we've all been in situations like this where we do spiral. So don't resist or ignore them. Let them pass, okay? And once you learn, which you will eventually, to effectively silence the 3D and just ignore it, then you will have more time and energy to focus on your manifestation, and it will start to manifest your desires more quickly. So something that I don't know that we hear a lot is that detachment often happens right before things show up. And detachment, again, is not obsessing over what you want. It's alignment, getting into an energetic space where your predominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are one that would support your ability to receive this thing, this person, whatever it is, whatever you're manifesting. Because that's when you have released resistance and stopped forcing and settled into trust. And this, you guys, is not giving up, right? Because if you hear that, you're settling into trust. That's literally alignment. And that's where we need to go. So if you've been trying to detach and you're like, did I detach? Have I not detached? You can ask yourself this question and it'll help guide you. Am I truly at peace accepting that the universe already has this for me, or am I worried and pretending not to care? Because there is a difference, right? There's a big difference. And that difference right there, that's where your manifestation shifts. All right, so tell me, guys, where are you still trying to control your manifestation right now? Or are you allowing the universe? Leave a comment below and just share where you're at. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Remember, you deserve what you're manifesting. Life is amazing and wonderful. I'm not going to say that manifesting is super easy, although it is. But once you have to get into the hang of it. So put forth what you're looking for. Trust yourself. Trust the universe. And know that you deserve everything you want. All right, have a beautiful day. Bye.